What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody at home and everybody in between? Boys, girls, and twirls, right? That's a cool way to say it. Boys, girls, and twirls. So what's up, everybody? It's me, DH Thorne, and my beautiful, lovely, curly-haired wife today, Miss KAMILA Thorne. So we figured we would do a daytime stream. Some people request that occasionally because we don't usually do it. And this way you guys can hang out with me and my wife and little Peep Peep Jewel over here, who's a little bit scared of my necklace. She doesn't like metal things very much. Oh, she does, but not everything metal does she like. She doesn't like change. Like if I wear a bandage on my hand, forget it. It's gonna be like she attacks my, like if I have a band-aid, it's like I've committed like an ungodly sin and she has to like punish the infidel. Yeah, it really did, and it was really kind of funny. I mean, it's just a goofy ass little bird, and she's, for her size, she's ridiculously not aggressive, like nasty aggressive, but like headstrong aggressive, like feisty. Yeah, she'd do what she won't. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy a daytime stream. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. And I already see we got a couple people here. We got Voss says, "Reveal to me the shadows, great Sir Thorne, king of the throne." Thank you, Voss. We got Ace the Goblin. What's up, brother? Yo, 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 yo. Good to see you, DH Thorne. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. I did listen to that music. I did enjoy what you did. I don't know if I got back to you. I think I just realized that I didn't. So I feel like a shithead. I apologize, brother. I did listen to the music. I liked it. I thought you did a really good job, and I hope you keep going. Definitely cool. Definitely freaking cool. Thank you for honoring me by putting me in your album that way. Stu Henny, what's up? How's it going? What's up, peoples? Nina's here, the Blue Wrench. I like calling you guys Blue Wrenches. Steroid Maximus, what's up, brother? Nikki Monrend, I haven't recognized that name, so hello. If we don't know you, come on, bird, get off of my glasses. Gar, what's up, Gar? The art has been fantastic. Thank you, brother. I have to get back into it. I bought like this cool little new toy tablet, and you know, it's freaking awesome. And then I didn't burn out, but I'm like, I got other stuff I'm trying to do, and you know, I wish I could be like at a cabin for like a month or two, like with nothing, just nothing. Matthias, yes, it's a bird. It's a burb. We say burb. This is a parrotlet. They are literally everything a regular parrot is, but they're the size of your thumb. So they have all the intelligence of a full-size parrot. They can talk if you get a male. I got a female, so that's what they had, and she's sweet as can fucking be. So when she's not biting me or attacking me. Yeah, Sigma, what's up? Sigma says hi. Jockster says, sunlight on skin, not vampires. What is this? We're daywalkers, if it's not obvious. I mean, I'm a psi vampire. I'm basically, fucking, what's his name from... Yeah, I'm Colin Robinson, basically. So, yeah, you're Evie, for sure. Ace the Goblin says, thank you, my brother. And yes, you briefly got back with me on that album release, but I would like to hear more of what you think of the album. Hope all is well with you all. So yeah, she's pretty cute. She's feisty as fuck. Like, I'm not even worried about her around the bird that much. I'm actually more worried about the dog. Like, and the dog's not really a hunter dog like she should be. She's a dachshund, so they're supposed to be really good hunters, but she's just like, she's a pampered little thing. Like, she's just like, give me cookies. Although I have to say, I don't know if they would, because ospreys are more like small food. Like, they don't eat the big stuff very much. And of course, I should have had some paper towels here, because I just got shit on. Hey. About the same size. Yeah, about the same size as our dog. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And she's old, so wouldn't be much of a fight anymore. So people are saying they can't hear you. I did not know that. Let me fix this. I'll sit here with the bird on my head while I try to fix it. You know,
it's always something.
It's this fucking thing. Try talking.
Talkie.
Guys, I apologize. There was an update a couple weeks ago, and all the settings got changed. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, I hate that. So basically, you've been talking a lot, and no one's heard a word you fucking said.
Not a word.
Holy shit! Now I know how it feels. Now you know what it feels like to be Gen X.
It's like par for the course right there. I swear.
Guys, I'm really sorry. Would you mind repeating everything you said?
Now they hear me.
Yeah. I know exactly what it was. They did an update, and all the devices got reset in the registry. Come on, dummy. Get off my head.
Yeah.
I don't like me when you're on my head.
Updates.
So they screwed up a lot of stuff with those updates.
At least we caught it early and not towards the end.
Yeah, it just sucks. You made some good comments about the dog and the ospreys and stuff, and it's just like, I enjoyed what you said. Now no one else will ever know what you said.
I don't even know what I said.
Come on, off of my head, please. I don't want poop on my hair, please. Please. Do you need your playpen?
Yeah, she probably does.
Here, get scared of the necklace. There you go. Play with the necklace.
But yeah, no, I was just commenting that I was out in the yard one day, probably about 3 weeks ago, and the frickin' osprey almost hit me in the head and landed in a tree right next to me, which is why we don't really put our dog out in the yard without us.
Yeah, you got a video of that. It was a short little video, but...
Yeah, I was gonna put it up on my channel, I just never did. It's the editing thing. I hate I can't even talk today. I hate editing my own stuff. It's like I just want to have someone else do it and put it up, and then I don't have to deal with it.
I don't know. I kind of like editing my stuff. I guess I'm more narcissistic and vain.
I just hate hearing myself. It's like, yeah, I said it. Can we just like bypass all that? I guess in a way I'm almost like Johnny Depp because he's like that. He doesn't see his own movies.
Let's see. Bro, as secrecy and witchcraft go hand in hand, do you think spirits prefer us staying silent about them or experiences or not? All right. So, there's a famous saying, do as thou will, right? Doesn't mean do what you want. It means do as thou will. This sounds to me like you have a will problem. What I mean by that is the spirits are... I'm non-theistic, but I'm not atheistic. I am not non-theistic. I'm not atheistic. I transcend theism and atheism. The way I view spiritual beings is pretty much almost exactly the same way Hindu non-dualists do. All of them, including you and me and my wife and the bird, all of us are masks for the divine, okay? When you transcend a certain dualistic view, you realize that the spirits, as we understand them, are egregoric beings. They're masks for the divine. What they want is what you perceive that they want. One of the great issues with spirituality is that people try to objectify it. We try to turn it into something that everybody's got to believe in, or that there's some kind of a rule of law to it that we all have to follow. Now, there are rules, I suppose, but that there's some kind of dogmatic rule. You shouldn't talk about spirits. You shouldn't talk about your magic. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. The issue is it depends. I do not talk about everything I've ever done in magic. Not even to my wife. There are rituals that I do. There's curses that I've done. There's things that I do that no one knows about. Sometimes they're just for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they have to be publicized, however, because it's sort of like a thing in chaos magic. You can charge a sigil by making it public, right? Of course, you're opening it up to other people's energies and their intentions, but you know, that's the theory anyway. But there are times you want to broadcast.
Well, it's like the shadow in a way when you think about it.
It's a lot like the shadow gate,
with the stickers all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So and yet it's still secretive. Everybody sees it, but it's secretive, right?
Oh my God, what's that?
Now, spiritual entities, being egregores, they actually like attention, especially the archonic ones. Archonic ones are the powers, the rulers, the forces, the ones that do things, the ones that are known for doing things. Okay. Now, if you're like a strict Gnostic, now I take a lot of symbolism from Gnosticism. I am not technically a Gnostic. My brand of Luciferianism is a form of a very loose form of Gnosticism, yes. But unlike a Gnostic, I don't believe that the material world is evil and that the rulers are necessarily evil, okay? I think that there can be negative habits. You know, rulers are rooted in ego. And ego is not bad, but ego tends to be a bad habit. And when I say it tends to be a bad habit, I mean, because of ego, we tend to do things that are not compassionate. And even as left-hand path practitioners, compassion is still a big deal. People don't realize that. People think left-hand path people are evil and we do wrong. No. Left-hand path just means it's a different way of reaching the same ultimate truth that you are divine. That's really what it is. You know, right-hand path is conformity, left-hand path is unorthodox. Right-hand path is masculine, left-hand path is feminine. It's more receptive. Am I left-hand or right-hand? Well, it depends on the day. But I would say I definitely lean more towards middle left, right? So do spiritual beings want attention? Absolutely. Sometimes they absolutely want attention. Other times, they want the gnosis to be just between the two of you. There are a lot of things that I get from the spirit world that are just for me. But then there are things that it's like I broadcast from the rooftops. And you guys can see that when I do occasionally put out content, like I did a ritual with Marbas. In fact, that's one of my coolest videos. That unfortunately I can't put on YouTube because YouTube banned it. It was a video right at the beginning of the Kuf epidemic, where I channeled Marbas for a bird on my head. I channeled Marbas to get information about what was going to happen with the Kuf and how to potentially protect ourselves as a family. And YouTube almost gave me a strike over it, and I had to take it down, and I wasn't going to edit it because I didn't know what they had a problem with. They didn't say what they just said. I forget what the exact thing was. It was something about self-harm or something.
Wasn't it medical advice too?
No, they didn't even put, that's what I'm saying. They didn't even put that on there. It was something with self-harm. And it was like, there's no self-harm in this video whatsoever. And they didn't believe me. I petitioned it. They still didn't. So I was like, fuck you. I'll take it down then. I put it on my BitChute. So if you go into my links section, you go to BitChute, there's probably my I don't know if it's my most viewed video, but it's the one for President Marbas, where I channel about, all right, bird, I swear, this is ridiculous. The new habit wrinkle, she doesn't get it. Get off my head. You want to be on my shoulder? Be on my shoulder. Don't be on my head. So I did this video channeling with Marbas, and it was one of the most powerful public channelings I've ever done. And they took it down. So that video, they definitely wanted out. That video was like, you know, it was something that I was sort of meant to put out in public. And I think I'm gonna put this bird away because this is getting I don't want to hurt her because she won't let go of my hair. Excuse me, sweetheart. Excuse me. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. She's a sweet bird, but
very feisty today.
Well, it's also the talking and the metal. And don't chew the wires. Oh my goodness. We're trying to get it. Come on, sweetie. I don't want to hurt you. Go on. Go on. Get on. Get on, little bird.
All our animals seem to do that. You hear our cockatiel in the background tweeting up a storm too. Usually our dog's trying to get into some things around
She
the
managed
house.
to hurt me. Let's see. Yeah, while putting her away, I managed to scratch my arm on the cage. Ow. Just a teeny one, but it's like one of those like ones where it's like, that's going to hurt in a minute.
Yeah, I was telling everyone that all our animals seem to act up whenever we go live or have video chats of some sort.
Absolutely.
You know, you could hear our cockatiel in the background the whole time we're on here. He's quiet all day.
Yeah. Ace says he loves the bird. Yeah, I love that bird too, man. It's my favorite bird. I love my other bird, but he's getting old and he's not as friendly. He
flies too much too every time we pick him up.
They're not as, like, for whatever reason, whenever I have a cockatiel, they start off pretty good, and then as they get older, they get antisocial. It kind of doesn't matter what you do, at least the ones I've ever had. He's not, like, mean or anything. He doesn't really...
Like be left alone.
He just kind of wants to be left alone. Yeah.
He doesn't sing anymore either. We think he had some sort of an injury of some sort of health issue over the winter because he stopped singing.
He stopped singing, and he didn't really come out much. And
he used to say, "Hello, sweetheart." Well, not really say it, but he'd whistle it.
Yeah.
He would say, "Hello, sweetheart," and "What you doing?" I got him to say, "What you doing? What you doing? What are you doing?" and all sorts of variations of it, and he doesn't do it anymore.
So to finish up Stu's question, he says, "I hear you, my friend. I hear there's power in silence." There absolutely is. And I wonder if this again depends. It absolutely does. So, and again, when I said you had a willpower problem, that's not a criticism. It is a if you are in the throes of will, okay, I like that way of putting it. If you're in the throes of will, you're always in the throes of will. In fact, we're gonna have to have a discussion about willpower versus desire in a second. If you are aligned with divine will, you won't have questions like that. You will just do what you need to do. There won't be a should I or shouldn't I. It will be, I am silent, I speak. I speak, I'm silent. It will not be a thing that you've got to go and like consult all the spirits and you know, deliberate over. It will just happen. Okay. So that's why it's probably important to have a little will conversation. Will is probably one of the most confusing subjects for people. And a lot of people's understanding of will is rooted in an egoistic fallacy. Now, again, I always have to preface, because I talk a lot about ego like a right-hand path person does, but I don't view the ego as bad. Ego is a habit. Some habits can be negative, and some habits can be positive, and some habits can be both. Okay? You like to clean your nose, like you get a stuffy nose all the time. So your habit is to clean it. Well, the habit can be involving a tissue, or it can be involving sitting on a subway with your finger halfway up your nose. You can have a habit be unhealthy and bad, or a habit be healthy and good. You know, the habit that says, I'm going to clean my house can become unhealthy when it becomes a disorder, when you over-clean, right? When you're OCD. So ego is a form of habit, and it's habitual anxiety revolving around the reification of this as you, exclusively you. Okay, this is your avatar. You're the divine witnessing the entirety of reality that is itself through this little pinhole. Wait, I just did the sexy thing. Let's do the sex. That should be just taken out of context. That's great. You're the divine witnessing itself through a little pinhole of perception called the mortal frame, the human being, the mortal coil, the avatar, whatever your model of you is. Okay, I like a trinity, a holistic vision of the self, but we can get into that separately. So what is the will, and what is desire, and how do they work together? A lot of people think that will means desire. They think if I want something hard enough, I can do it. Wrong. Abso-fucking-lutely the opposite. Desire is not will. Desire is a reaction to what already is. Will is what is. Okay, so desire comes after the fact. You don't desire something first. You desire something after something else. Usually after a negative. Usually, so like if you desire food, it's because what? You're hungry. Where did that hunger come from? Okay. If you desire sex, why do you want sex? What caused that? So desire is never a cause. It's always being caused by something else. It's always a reaction. Desires don't just come out of nowhere, although they can appear to. Desires don't just come out of nowhere. There's always some kind of a thing that is the ultimate source for them. Always. If someone were to tell you to make a random choice between a left hand and a right hand, they can measure your brain activity, and up to like 3 or 4 seconds before you're conscious of your decision, they already know what it is. Your subconscious decides way before you're even aware of it. Okay? So your sense of choice is not free will either. The will is always inevitable. What science would call determinism, what the ancients might call fate, what the Chinese call the Tao, what I call the will, the divine will, are all the same thing. To the materialist, determinism is a horrible, sad thing that they're very happy to be nihilistically proud of believing in. Determinism is this idea that you don't have any control over your life. It's the universe doing what the universe does, and your idea of free choice is an illusion. Okay? I kind of sound like that, but this is a transcendent opinion. What I'm trying to describe to you is the idea that from the perspective of ego, there is no, you want free will, okay? For the ego says, I want a choice. I know that I'm in control because I made a choice, and all of these things. It has this big set of arguments that it uses to reify itself, and one of those is, I chose to pick up this soda can, therefore I exist, and I have control. Where did that desire to pick up the soda can come from? Where did the impetus for that come from? What was the primary cause of that? There's always a primary cause, before. If you trace back any decision you've ever made, there's always some factor that was the source of it. And it may not be something you're technically conscious of, just like you might not be conscious of the fact that you need to sneeze until you sneeze. Like, you ever have a sneeze sneak up on you? Bang, I gotta sneeze, pachowie. Same kind of thing. So it can seem spontaneous, but there's a source for it. Now, divine will, or the Tao, or what materialists would think of as determinism, materialists think that it's determinism in the form of dominoes knocking each other over, or something like that. They think of it very Newtonian and quantum. The mystic sees it as the divine's will manifesting. And it's inevitable. The divine will is inevitable. There is no choice involved in the divine will. Choice is always an echo after the fact. Okay, now this can be very nihilistic sounding to some people. Some people will turn me off immediately because they can't handle the idea that maybe, just maybe, what they think of as a choice wasn't made by them. What I'm telling you is that if you are the divine, and the divine is the most high, the absolute, the Brahman, Atman, the Paratman, the Paramatman, all of these things, okay? If the divine is the absolute divine God, if that's what you are, what could there be that controls you? Nothing. What could influence you? Nothing. There's no... So this is why the Taoists would say the Tao has no purpose. The Tao goes this way, the Tao goes that way. It has no purpose. There's no reason for the divine will to do anything, not even desire, because the divine will is absolute. It does as it will because that is what it does. There is no primary cause. There is no first cause for will. True will is bang, it just happens. Okay? Now, so if you're saying, Thorne, I know I have free will, you don't realize you're sabotaging yourself. You don't realize that when you say that, that's ego saying, I'm in control. Ego has no control over anything whatsoever. All ego is a reaction. All it is an internalized reaction to what already is. Your sense of self is something that happens after what you are already exists. That's the ego. So when you're driving down the road and you go, I got to make a left, okay? That wasn't a choice. You're limited to left, straight, right, whatever. It's not really a choice. It's a bounded choice, if anything. Oh, I think my wife got knocked off the call. Give me a minute, guys. I'll read some chats for a second, a minute. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her. Connection is poor. Is a network connection. Whoopsie doodles. Give it a second, guys. Hopefully you're still there. We lost Kamila. Yeah, she's texting me. Okay, she crashed. Okay. 1 second, guys. She's out in the shop, so when that happens, I have to go back. So when she texts me back, I'll bring her back in. So what I'm telling you is actually better than free will. I'm saying that you are the divine will, and that is inevitable. There is nothing that can get in that way. So how many of you guys know what the flow state is? Do you guys know what the flow state is? How many of you guys are familiar with the flow state? If you know what the flow state is, that is the freest form of will. Okay, this is going to be a pain in the butt now, of course. Of course. Here, let's go back to that screen. When she's done, we'll bring her back. If you know what the flow state is, that is the closest thing to what you would call free will, because your ego's out of the way. So how many of you guys, if you've ever done something and you were just free flowing, so like some of my conversations are like that. I'm just a stream of consciousness happening. Okay, that's an example of the flow state. There we go. I don't know why my phone started ringing.
Am I there?
Yeah, we need your video and stuff, but you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me put you back on. Don't do that again.
I know. Like, really?
Now, there's one more layer to this that kind of gets off in the weeds a little bit. But this is not just a modern scientific principle. It also goes back to ancient mysticism, like with non-duality and Gnosticism and Neoplatonism and all that. This idea that the world changes, like that things happen, that things move, that we go from moment to moment and things change. It's inappropriate. The divine is unchanging, it is eternal, and it is timeless. The divine doesn't change, so what's happening? Does a book change when you read it? No. Does the story change as you read it? Well, it forms in your mind like change, but the story is what it is written as. So you will feel like there is fate and determinism because in the multiverse, okay, in the divine, the multiverse, all of these things already exist. This conversation already exists from beginning to end. Kamila is already dead in another timeline. All of these things exist simultaneously because there is no such thing as actually time. Time as you think of it is an illusion. Time at best is a dimension of conscious of conscious attention. So as the divine moves its consciousness through itself, it manifests this reality. Now, this is where you might get the impression of choice, because consciousness, there isn't just one timeline. There's an infinite timeline. There's an infinite number of timelines, and they all branch out from every moment. There's a pathway that goes to almost anything from where you are. Yes, it's a little harder to do some things from where you are. You can't go to the Big Bang from where you are unless you go backwards, and you don't go backwards. Consciousness is flowing a certain way. So you're not going to go back to what you think of as the past, because the past is not the past. There is no past. There's no future. There's only an eternal present, and that present contains everything that you think of as the past and the future. So as consciousness shifts its attention through the dimension of time, okay? Remember, we're not really saying time moves. We're not saying reality moves. We're saying consciousness shifts through the dimension of time. Think of it like a direction. Consciousness shifting through the dimension of time manifests this animated illusion of time, space, and reality happening. This means that consciousness can go from timeline A to timeline B and C and D from where you are. And there's a whole bunch of ways that it will do that, but it always requires a kind of an excuse. That is to say, I can't just jump to the timeline where this soda can's empty without some kind of cognitive dissonance. And the divine doesn't like cognitive dissonance. When that happens, it's uncomfortable. When it's uncomfortable, this creates issues where it, sort of like in a dream, you might wake up from it. It does occasionally happen. There is occasional moments, we would call them like weird supernatural miracles where things happen that shouldn't be possible. Okay? But cognitive dissonance is a real disruptor. And so the divine tends to stick to what is apparently rational to itself. Of course, rationality is something that is emergent. It is not something that causes anything. It will always appear rational. Even if it seems irrational, you'll look for an excuse till you find one. To give you an example, when the ghost opened the cabinets in my kitchen, I've told this story before, we had a ghost, I believe, the cabinet door opens and taco shells flies out in the middle of the living room. It was really fucking weird. 3 witnesses beside, me and 2 other people saw it at the same time. It was fucking trippy as shit. So you're going to say, well, how do you explain it then? Well, I just did. It was a ghost. So see, I'm rationalizing it, even though I don't know what a ghost is, right? Even though I might not know what that is, even though I might not, there's still a reason. You will always create a reason for everything after the fact. So it will always be rational. Rationality comes after the fact. This is why I said in a Facebook post the other day, natural law and physics and all of this shit that we think rules the universe doesn't. It's actually an after image. It's an idea that we have to explain what already is. So quantum fields and gravity and all this stuff, these are ideas that we have to explain something that's already happened. Gravity doesn't control how things fall. Only an idiot thinks that. If you get to the higher echelons of science, they don't tell you that gravity causes things. They tell you that gravity is an observation. It's a model. Gravity is what it does. But gravity is an idea. Things fall, but we can't say that gravity made them fall. Gravity is just an idea. Things fall. Reality happens, and then we explain it afterwards. That's kind of what I'm getting at. So, consciousness will always find, the divine will always find an excuse that is reasonably rational to its incarnate self for whatever it experiences. It could be something supernatural. When I say it has to be rational, it doesn't mean that it has to be like what a physicist would say is rational. It has to be something that you can comprehend in your bubble of reality. So if you live in a world where it's gods and demons and supernatural forces, then that's how you explain it, and it will make sense to you, and it will appear that way. But if you're a physicist, then it's going to have to be something very mechanical to explain everything that you experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. Both of them are limiting in their way. Both of them are a limit. That's what people don't realize. People go, oh, well, physicists have such a limited frame of mind. They won't open themselves to the mysterious. Yeah, but do you open yourself to the physicist point of view? No, of course not. You're dogmatic in one direction. They're dogmatic in the other. I try to collide the two. I try to keep them both legitimate. I try to make them both rational. I want the best of both worlds. I want to understand things from the science point of view and from the mystical point of view. As one view, a grand unified theory of reality. Okay, so free will is the idea that it should be free or is free is an egoistic thought. But if you understand the mystical perspective, Even if you understand the scientific perspective, that idea actually falls apart. There is only one will, the divine, what scientists would call the universe, causality, determinism. The mystic understands to be God, what you would call God in a vulgar sense. Not a personal God, but a divine being that is you. There is only one will. If there is only one will, what can it be free of? Nothing. Everything is that will. So this idea that there's any kind of competition or control or anything like that, all of that is the one will happening. Even when you have things that seem to be in opposition, that is the divine will. Let me put it to you like this. Whose will was that? If you were your right hand, wouldn't you feel like, oh, the left hand got in my way, how dare it? But that was the will. That was your will manifesting as two hands clapping, and both of those hands might feel like they were obstructed. But if there wasn't that illusion of obstruction, there wouldn't be a clap. Okay? So think of it like that. If you can transcend a lot of this stuff, a whole world of possibility opens up. It really does. All right, let's scroll through some comments here. I missed a lot. I know somebody was asking about Kundalini. How do you go about raising? What's your take on Kundalini? How do you go about raising Kundalini? Okay. So I am not like really into Kundalini. I got to be honest with you. Kelly says, bird makes a cute headdress. Thank you, Kelly. I agree. I know people that have worked with Kundalini and they sing its praises. And they say, oh, it's all this and all that in a bag of chips. I don't see much of a difference for them, to be honest with you. No offense to them. Then I see people who are like, they live in India, they live Kundalini Yoga. They live that shit. They are a very specific kind of person. There's a difference. I'm not saying you have to go to India to get it right. I'm saying that there are people that live it. Those people, I do see a difference. Now, I know of this one guy on YouTube. What's his name? Arsha Bodhi, something or other. He's got a great yoga channel, or a great non-dual Advaitin channel, traditional Advaitinism. Really good channel. And his path was to awaken with samadhi before playing with all this other stuff. It's kind of like Kundalini and yoga and all these other things. They're just like they're like modules you can add on to your mystical practices. They're not, none of them are the only way to achieve something. And he did this, and being a very experienced transcendental practitioner, having achieved samadhi and all this, you can tell someone who's had that ego death moment and has experienced the transcendence, you can usually tell when they're lying or when they're serious about that, because it's not just a gleam in their eyes, there's a whole attitude shift. And I'm watching him, and I he's clearly had this awakening, and then he does Kundalini, and he had a lot of good things to say about it, but he also said it didn't really make a difference. That is to say, if the objective is to awaken to samadhi, doing Kundalini is a useful way of doing it, and it will definitely give you fringe benefits. Obviously, the guy didn't do it his whole life. I think if he had done it his whole life, he might have a different story, because Kundalini Yoga puts you in tune with your body in a way that other people wouldn't be in tune with it. So I've never really delved into it deeply. So for me, it's not really a practice that I'm into. It's kind of like, I guess I'm too much of a fire sign, and sounds like too much work. And I don't feel like dedicating my life to Kundalini and trying to, do all that. But I can't say anything bad about it because I've never fully tried it. And I can't say anything good about it because I've never fully tried it. But I will say, from my outside perspective looking in, okay, the problem with Kundalini Yoga is the problem that I identify in most spiritual practices, is that people reify the practices too much. It's sort of an ego trap is what I'm getting at. There's nothing wrong with reifying things if you maintain a proper a proper a proper perspective on what you are. If you make it too objectively real, that is to say, you take this too seriously, it becomes an ego trap very quickly, because it becomes about you, not about the divine through you. Now, for some people, they can do all that. It's not a problem. But for other people, they can get trapped in it, because it becomes, I have to raise Kundalini energy. Well, what is that? Well, it's like a snake. What do you mean it's like a snake? Well, it's Shakti. Okay, what's Shakti? And they don't know, right? They hear these things, they get into the fiction of it, is what I'm getting at. They get into the fiction of it, reify it in superstitious ways, and it becomes a pitfall. But on the other hand of that same conversation are people who can use that. They can raise Kundalini. They can get their energy centers all aligned and get them all charged and humming and going strong, and their lives change because of it, or appear to change because of it. Remember what I said before about causality. So you can have that experience. In fact, I wouldn't dissuade you from doing it. If you're interested in Kundalini Yoga, not just with my blessing, I'd drive you there, you know, if we were friends. Do it. I want to know. How does it work for you? But don't think it's going to be something like, I've had people that, I've seen this all over the internet. It's the same thing I see with any other spiritual practice. There's people who will, you know, they're 14 years old. They're like, I raised my Kundalini already. Yeah, okay. How's mama's basement doing? You see this all the time. Don't get wrapped up in it as a way to, you know, don't wear your spirituality as a decoration for your ego. Don't do that. I'm not saying you can't have aesthetics and all this stuff, and I'm saying don't wear your spirituality as a decoration for your ego. Don't do that. Because if you do that, it becomes about the decoration, not about the spiritual part. You've got to master. And by master, I don't mean control. I mean master as in you need to fully reveal the truth. That's what I mean by mastery. You have to fully reveal the truth and transcend all the bullshit. When you can do that, it's a little different. There's times that I wear my spirituality as ego. Everybody does. Like, don't think that like I'm some kind of high and mighty guy who doesn't do this shit. I'm just warning you. It's not a helpful thing. When I catch myself doing it, I often stumble and I pull it off and I start over. I've done it many times. So I'm warning you, don't wear your spirituality as a decoration for your ego. Just don't do it.
I have an interesting thought.
Yes.
Going back to the whole tacos out of the cabinet thing. What if it wasn't a ghost? What if I'm sure this has been floated and maybe I even heard it somewhere. What if, like, the ghosts are really interdimensional us's coming through? Like, it's like me in another timeline, another universe, that actually was going to make tacos that night and drop the shells. And it came through.
Yeah. Right? That's a really good question. Maybe that's like two universes colliding.
In our universe, the shells flew out of the cabinet, that it was really me dropping them.
So, I mean, rather than saying two universes colliding like I did, I should have said maybe it's consciousness witnessing two universes at once.
It's like the thinning of the veils kind of thing, you know? Like, it came close together. Yeah.
I think that's I mean, if that's a way that helps you look at it, I would say go for it. I think that's fun. Ellie Alchemist, daytime stream for the win. Woo! $4.99. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We got to get El back on. He's so chill.
Absolutely.
Doc Styles is pretty sure you told your mom you were combing your hair. Yeah, I'm not sure what that... You talking about my hair, boy? Actually, I'm going to be getting it trimmed, I think, this week. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to cut it because I like it long, but I would like it long if it wasn't on just one side so much. I think I'm going to trim it to shoulder length. What do you guys think? You guys think I should leave it long or should I trim it?
You know me, I'm impartial. I like you just the way you are.
Yeah.
But I am supportive regardless. I think it would look good though. You know me, I'm easy.
Wyatt says, you misgendered the snakes which rise from your Kundalini. Cancel him. Dude, I am so sick of these people. I swear to God, I am really sick of it. Like, I mean, okay. Can I get a hell yeah in the comments if you guys are sick of like woke cancel culture bullshit? Like, didn't we fucking, hey, COAG, what's up, man? I always appreciate your music, COAG. I haven't used it in a little while. Go to this guy's channel right here, COAG Music. This guy's got lots of music that you can use for your creations. He just wants for you to give them attribution. COAG, thank you for everything that you do, my friend. I don't know if you're a boy, girl, or anything in between, but thank you. I'm going to call you dude. Dude's universal. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate the work you do. Thank you for dropping by and saying hi. Go to their channel. Check out their sounds. Check out their music. You can use it in your videos. All you got to do is give them attribution when you use their music and sounds. That's all you got to do. And I really appreciate that they do that. I think that's fucking awesome. Send them a few bucks on their thing. You know what I'm saying? Give them a little bit of help. Yeah, Doc knows who they are. Fuck yeah. Thank you, COAG. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wow, that's really cool. COAG came to say hi. I appreciate that. That's really fucking cool. Yeah. So, like, didn't we deal with the pearl clutching ninnies back in the 80s and 90s with the satanic panic? Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be nice to people, obviously. Like, I'm not saying that we should be like a bunch of racist, bigot assholes. I'm not saying that, obviously. I'm saying people take that shit too fucking far. People take that shit, like, stop clutching your pearls, man. People get offended. That's part of life. You can't stop offense. You're never going to stop it.
No. It just goes on to different words.
Right.
And the more you can't use certain words, I mean, what do? We come up with different words to use instead.
And they just end up offending people.
Like Karen.
Right. Right. We come up with new ways to insult.
Oh, Karen's a slang term. Fuck off with that.
Yeah. It's, you know, look, I as a child of the 90s, as a classical liberal, okay, I'm down with being more compassionate and tolerant towards everybody. I absolutely am. I'm down with being open to as many, like, if you're not hurting anybody, if it's between consenting adults, if all you're doing is to yourself, I don't care. I am not offended by what you do to yourself. It's when you start including other people that I can get a little antsy. You know, if you're fucking doing shit to kids or something like that, I get a little antsy about that. But if it's consenting adults, do what the fuck you want, man. Do what you want.
I'm all about my body, my choice. If you want to go and be you, do it. I don't fucking care. It's got no bearing on me, just like my life has no bearing on you.
Right. So live and let live. You know, this is like, why did we go past that? Why did we make it so that we've got to be like zero offense? I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with being tolerant and kind to people. That's the selling. That's the superficial sales tactic. The reality is it's a way to control people. That's all it is. It's just a way to control people. It's just a new way to keep people in line. That's all it is.
Real quick, Phoenix Claw. I did have black hair long time ago, probably about 22 years ago now, back in high school, and it was a bitch to deal with for me. Thank you, though.
I like the pink. I like the pink the best out of all the ones you've done. The hot pink is my favorite.
Gotta redo it.
Yeah, that's all right.
While my roots are showing badly. I get about an inch of growth every month.
My little tricolor haired wife.
Yes. I love the gradient.
Alexander C says it's trendy censorship. Yeah, it is. It really is. And look, if you're watching this channel, it's not about me to say this. Look at everything that you see here. This, almost everything I do offends somebody. This offends the Christians. My opinions about things offends, you know, woke people. My politics offends one group. If you are trying to live a life where you offend nobody, you're not living your life. You're living someone else's. Let me repeat that. If you're living a life where you are going through it trying not to offend people, you're not living your life. You're living someone else's because they control you with their offense, with their opinion. What are you doing?
In my viewpoint, if you're not offending somebody, you're living life wrong.
Yeah. Phoenix Claw says, why was it hard to have black hair? It's a good question, honey. When you said that, I was like, what does she mean by what was hard?
You know what it is? It's when you make a mess of it. Black does not come out of things like other colors.
Oh, you mean when you dyed it black?
When I dyed it black.
Oh, I think that they were under the assumption that your hair is naturally black, because it's not. It's like a dark brown.
No, my hair is naturally dark brown, yeah.
I forget if yours was the same shade as mine or a little brighter. I forgot.
Mine's a little, not red, but a little more on the auburn side.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have red in my hair, too. If you ever get close to my hair, you'll see I have, like, lots of red strands in it. They're the ones going gray first. I'm surprised I haven't gone gray yet. You know how many of my friends are totally gray or going, right? Like my friend, we'll just call him Big C.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, he's like 3 years older than me, and he's like just like he's going all white. The dude at work's like almost like all gray. He's only like 4 years old. It's like, wow, man, people go gray early.
You know what's funny? I think I get my hair from my grandma because she had, by the time she was 60, she had just a little part up front right here that was gray. Before I dye my hair every month, I do check my scalp, and I haven't found one yet.
Well, you're the right age for it. Plus, you know, you do all that, so it probably. But, I mean, I get a little salt and pepper in my beard, but I've had a little bit of that for like 10 years now. Like that's not new. Uh-oh. The boys just sent me a link to something. What did he send me a link to?
Oh. But yeah, like with the dyed black hair, it is a lower maintenance because it does just last. You don't have to reapply throughout the ends of your hair, so it is easier to do. Just, I don't know, I kind of got tired of the black hair.
Your phone's going off. It's making a lot of buzzing, just so you know.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right. So Phoenix Claw says, in September or October, will we have another lockdown? Not for medical things. No, I don't think so. We will probably have some kind of a surreal crisis. I do anticipate that. Hey, honey, maybe just take it off the table, because when it goes off, it makes a lot of buzzing.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Like I'm here, like it's like, ow.
I have it right next to the microphone, just about, so I could see the chat.
So Phoenix Claw, I mean, I am not that prescient. I am a little prescient. I will tell you that I am anticipating... with, you know, like, let's do it like a weather report. 30 or 40% chance of showers. So I'm saying 30 or 40% chance that there will be a surreal crisis between now and November. And it will be something that is going to make a lot of people sit up and go, what? I don't know if it's going to be like arresting Trump. I don't know if it's going to be a war. I don't know if it's going to be like an asteroid hits. I don't know what it's going to be. Something between now and November, there's going to be something surreal that happens. Everyone that is not, like, it's going to get most people's attention, and it's probably going to, it might be riots, it might be an arrest, it might be a false flag, it might be, there's so many things it could be and probably will be. It could be war with a country like China or something. I don't know. But there will be some disruption. I cannot believe, with everything that's been happening, that we're just going to go from now until the election. Trust me, it's all about that. From now until the election, without something crazy happening, okay? I think that's, if you think that it's going to be smooth sailing from here to there, you're nuts. Something's going to happen, okay? You don't need to be psychic to know that. That's just intellectual, like playing chess, okay? I can see the board. I know what they're trying to do. They're getting desperate. Shit's going crazy. Monkeypox is bullshit. COVID, nobody's going to care. Everyone's over it. Monkeypox is
CDC
BS.
backtracked on all that, so...
Yeah. Excuse me, YouTube. Monkeypox is the most important thing ever. COVID's the most important thing ever, YouTube.
Please don't
everybody.
Susan Wojcicki.
It's the most important thing ever. Don't take it for granted. Do everything that they tell you. Suck it all down. Take every possible procedure. Do everything that they tell you to do.
Make sure you get the vaccine in the butthole.
Don't even say that word. Don't even say that word. Get it all. Get it all. Do everything that they tell you. Go. Don't take my word for anything. Run from me, everyone. I don't know. I am a humble nobody that knows nothing. All right. Now that we said that, hopefully the fucking censors will leave.
Disclaimers.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we have to do that should tell you something. Okay. The fact that we have to be that, like, fucking paranoid should tell you everything.
Fucking overlord bullshit.
Yeah, and the problem is that too many people, instead of fighting against it somehow like we're doing, they just, you know, They just go, well, I guess we won't talk about those things. No, that's when you should talk about it.
Govern me harder, Big Daddy.
Yeah, no, sorry, not happening. Look, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my generation. When you tell me I'm not supposed to and can't, I do it anyway. Like, that's when I go, fuck you. Like, you know, so. Alexander, the reason it's gone that way is because they're trying to demoralize. They're trying to create the perception that you're the minority. You're not the minority.
Nope.
I am going to tell you that even if you go into the middle of like LA and Manhattan, you might be the minority, but you're not the minority they make you think you are. You're probably in a 40 or 30%, maybe 40% minority. That's a minority, but it's not as big as you think it is. They want you to feel like you're one of 2 or 3 people in the whole planet that think the way you do. Obviously, if you look at what's happening, that's not true. I am confident right now that if we were to clear out all of the corruption and all of the bullshit, we would find that, yes, a sizable percentage of the population would still appear woke, but it would be a very minor minority compared to what they make it look like. They spotlight this. They use bots to inflate the numbers. I'm telling you right now, using Twitter has opened my eyes a lot. I hate fucking Twitter. It makes me fucking crazy because it's all stupid. But when you go to Twitter, you can see that's an algorithm, that's an algorithm, that's an algorithm, because they will just spew the same talking points from everybody. If you follow certain people that you know are enemies of the state, shall we say, when they post something, within seconds, you'll have like 100 people saying the same thing negative to them, that it's just regurgitated in a slightly different way. And the profile has like a little empty picture. There's no picture. It's just a bot, or it's a person who just repeats what bots say. The reason why woke is a danger is because let me see if I can really frame this for you guys so you understand what this is really all about, okay? First of all, clear your mind. Everybody clear your mind for a minute. Just, there's nothing in your head, okay? They have created the perception that woke is the norm, or at least a very sizable percentage of people. But it's not, okay? That's fact number 1. It's not the majority they make it look like. Fact number 2, they control what woke means. They control what is woke and what is not, because they have algorithmic control, media control. They have operatives, and they influence influencers to be more woke. So they create this facade of woke is a majority and woke is this. This is what woke believes. And they take all the kids and they indoctrinate them in the schools. That's why it's growing. That's why it's like, seems like it's everywhere, because more and more kids are getting fucking bombarded with it.
Remember that time when they had the TikTok influencers go to the White House?
Yep. So again, I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm just saying it's not the majority. Okay. Most people are not like this.
There's a lot of people that are still too cowardly to even open their mouths about it. Mm-hmm. They're afraid they're going to go on a list if they do.
Right. So they create this facade that looks like woke is the majority view, or it's the most important view, or that they're being favored. Okay. And they are being favored. So they set the agenda of woke is. Why do they do that? If you pay attention, woke is targeted against everything that is what? Anti-establishment. And to make sure that it really sticks good, they will insert their own co-opted controlled opposition in the form of things like Antifa and shit like that, that acts like, oh, we're anti-establishment. No, you're not. There's a meme that goes around, and it should be plastered everywhere. You're not the resistance if every fucking corporation, big tech, and government is behind you. You're not the resistance, asshole. You're one of them.
All the woke celebrities of Hollywood, all that. As soon as you see Hollywood on board, that's when you should run.
It's not that freedom is hipsterish. It's that if you think that you are independent and punk rock freedom and you're like all about doing like you can't call yourself a rebel if the entire system is on your side. You can't.
Is Coca-Cola giving you money?
Right?
Where's your endorsement?
You can't claim to be a rebel if the whole system's on your side. You just can't. Okay? It doesn't work that way. So get this whole I'm a rebellious woke person with pink hair, blue hair, green hair. No offense to my pink-haired wife. You're not, you know, if your Kool-Aid hair don't make you a rebel. When I was growing up, punk meant freedom.
Yep.
Punk kids, whether they were goth, metalhead, you know, punkism, whatever you want to call that, anarchism, didn't look like woke at all. In fact, it took a shit on woke every chance it got. It was about offending fucking pearl-clutching moralists on almost every dimension. Within reason. It wasn't about normalizing bad shit, okay? Like, that's the thing. They'll be like, well, you know, if you're saying you're so anti, you know, morality stuff. No. I'm not anti taking care of people. I'm not anti-compassion. I'm not like, you know, I'm not going to be pro-pedo or something, you fucker. I'm saying I'm anti-pearl clutching, okay? Lighten the fuck up. So, I guess the thing that kind of depresses me, though, is that right now, a fucking Luciferian motherfucker like me has to hold his nose and hang out with a bunch of trad cons and conservative people and Christian groups because they're the only ones that are actually pushing for something like what I'm going for with any success. It really sucks that unfortunately, you know, and they've got their own moralistic issues that are gonna piss me off very soon. They're starting to. I see them everywhere going, it's all satanic, oh, praise Jesus, you need Jesus. And it's like, oh boy, here we go. This is where it could turn into Satanic Panic 2.0. Because in order to fight off the global woke bullshit, they're gonna circle the wagons around Jesus again. And then I'm going to have to we're going to finish fighting this one fight. And then we're going to have these guys on the other side who are emboldened by winning against the globalists because they're going to win. I'm telling you now, I've seen it. At least in the short term. Long term, I don't know. Anything could happen long term. Short term, though, yeah. So eventually, the people that I am currently siding with, because we have the same enemy, what's going to happen when they start going, you know, don't you know that is a New World Order flag? No, it's not. It's never been. The New World Order is not satanic. It is not Luciferian in the slightest. In fact, I would even argue, like when they're like, oh, the Illuminati did all this and they're Luciferian. I would say the one thing you got right is that they're sort of Luciferian. They're Promethean, Luciferian. Illuminati guys were probably the good guys. I don't know for sure. I wasn't there. I'm not in their inner order. I don't know what they were about, and they don't exist. Or if they do, they were destroyed. I think the Illuminati were probably on the good guy's side. They started America. They led to the Enlightenment era. They led to the freedom of thought that we engage with, that helped, you know, pull us out of feudalism and all of that shit. And then they were probably corrupted and destroyed. So if there is an Illuminati now, they're probably not the good guys anymore. But once upon a time, they probably were. And whatever happened, I know this because when I look at the mystery schools, what little we can see from the outside that are running things, Skull and Bones and all this shit, they're very superficially mystical and believing in things. It's a lot of that's just like frat boy bullshit to them. A handful of them do believe in stuff, and maybe the deepest, highest levels do very much believe in stuff. You know, the hidden masters, the ones you don't know about, they probably do know a lot of mystical shit. They've probably transcended good and evil, and that's why they don't care about what they're doing. I shouldn't say don't care, but that's why they don't look at it like, oh, we're bad. When I see them, what they're doing, there's a lot of Babylonian stuff in it. When I do get a glimpse occasionally at what they do, There's a lot of Babylonian stuff. Little bit of Hellenistic, a lot of Babylonian going on. Like a mix of the two. It's sort of like, when I say Babylonian, I'm talking about like Epstein Island and shit. Look up the pictures of Epstein Island, what he had on his a fucking island.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at the statues he had and shit. That's right, Alexander. This is why, I mean, look, I'm ahead of the game. Maybe you're ahead of the game. There's some people that are ahead of the game, and we knew this was coming. I've never had it as left versus right in my head. I've always seen it as people who are useful idiots working for the globalists and everybody else. Do they exist on the left-hand side? A few of them do. Begrudgingly, admittingly, yes, they do. The problem is that a lot of them, it's hard to say what the real problem is. It's sort of the same problem that like the hard libertarians have. So like when you have like an ANCOM, it's the same thing as an ANCAP, right? In terms of what the problem is. They're so anti and they're so rebellious. They can't organize, they can't get anything done, and they end up in the same boat as everybody else. And unfortunately, that plays into the hand of the bad guys, shall we say. It is unfortunate. You know, I profess being libertarian all the time, and yet I support Trump, who's not a libertarian, by the way. Don't think he is.
Nope.
Okay? I support Trump out of convenience, out of like the same reason that I'm hanging out with Christians right now. Not because I mean, I'm not going to say I'd be bigoted toward Christians. I don't mean it like that. But I mean, the same reason that I'm aligning so much. Like if I'm on Twitter, I don't harass the fucking Christians. I sit there and I smile and nod. And when we agree on politics, I support. Your religion's separate. It's a separate issue. Okay. But, yes. And Alexander, you're right. There's globalists in both parties. And it's, the parties are bullshit. The parties are a veneer. Okay. Parties are always a veneer. Never take them seriously. Parties are stupid. Okay, Nikki, I don't know who you are. But you said pizza tuna. I don't know what that is, but why does that sound good? That kind of reminds me of what I made the other day with the that roll and oh, that was good.
The tuna wrap you made?
Yeah, the tuna wrap. Oh, a little bit of red onions, a little bit of... We didn't do bacon the last couple times. No wonder it wasn't perfect.
That's what we were missing.
All right, so tomorrow or whenever we go...
With bacon.
I remembered what we needed from BJ's. It's the wraps. I need those wraps.
That's right.
Can we have tuna bacon wraps tomorrow?
We absolutely can.
Okay, I want tuna bacon wraps tomorrow.
Be it lunch or dinner, doesn't matter. We'll be home for it.
I want it. Well, we have to get the stuff, so we'll probably have to go to BJ's tomorrow and then have it for dinner.
We got a lot to do tomorrow anyway.
No, we don't. We're going to do one of those things. One of them.
Two of them are somewhat important.
This is another reason we need to live out in the middle of nowhere, so we have, like, so we do less. It's pizza with tuna fish on it. Okay, that doesn't sound as good now, Nikki. I am now offended. I'm offended.
The question is, what kind of tuna? Is it like the canned tuna, or is it sushi tuna?
Yeah.
Or is it like the seared kind with the pepper on the outside that's really good? Now I'm making myself hungry again. Damn it. Don't ever make me hungry.
Nikki's saying it's a European thing. Okay, that's cool. I'd try it. I talk shit, but I'd try it. It sounds all right.
And who knows, maybe there's no tomato sauce on it. Maybe it's a different kind of sauce.
It sounds a little bit like anchovies.
Oh, okay.
It's probably not anchovies, but it's probably like putting anchovies on pizza.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, and Alexander should probably hang out with us. He gets like so much of what we say. He says the amount of hate Trumps get proves he's stomping on some serious toes out there. You know, I can actually understand why people who are low info would hate him if all you're getting is the same regurgitated talking points from the media all day. If you sit down and listen to one of his speeches or something, you know, I guess he could be abrasive to some people the way he talks, but I've never heard him say anything that was like what they say he is, right? Never once. It's funny when they take his quotes to the street and they have someone who's obviously against him. Yes.
And they agree with every point that he makes. And then they tell him who said it and their like mind is blown.
Right. Absolutely.
They short circuit, you can tell.
I don't want to make this all about, one of the things I don't like is the politics, but I will say this, because I'm not talking about this for the political sake, okay? I don't like that. I agree with a lot of people who are like, I'm sick of politics. I am too. I'm not into this for politics. This is an existential crisis, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Everything going on right now is a fucking existential crisis, and it's not because they're making it look like it. It literally is.
It is.
This is a clash of people who want to be free or nationalist. It's kind of weird, but it's people who want to be free and or nationalist versus
it's okay to be a nationalist
within a certain point.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to be like fuck the world,
No,
kill everybody.
no,
like,
it's okay to think about your country first.
Right, exactly. And isn't it weird that we have to even say that, because nationalism has been given such a bad name? We have to like qualify it. Doesn't that suck?
Yep.
But then there's the globalists, and they are hell bent on destroying everything that makes your life worth living. I did a post the other day, and I still stand by it. I said the globalists would have gotten a lot further if they stuck with positives and optimism.
It's true.
They could have got a lot of what they're pushing for, including control, if they kept doing it with positivity and optimism and aimed everybody towards staying asleep, giving up their freedom slowly with positivity and optimism. Trust us, we're good. Trust us, we're safe. We're saving the planet together. We're good. We're good. Positivity and optimism. Those people are... But no, they started going authoritarian, heavy-handed, gaslighting, negative, pessimistic, destructive, coercive, tyrannical. Soon as you do that, a lot of people wake up immediately.
When you feed people despair, you don't stand a chance.
Well, I guess that they bank on the idea that people get despaired and don't do anything. They get demoralized. But
they become lethargic about it.
But here's the thing. When you get somebody past a certain point where there's no hope, when there's no hope, people do crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
One of the only reasons that people like me aren't going out there and doing crazy stuff is because I go, well, I still have a life. If I felt like my life was forfeit because they were going to do what they want, trust me, shit would be different. Yeah, Phoenix Claw, in a lot of ways, you're right. He says, we are in a depopulation mode, not just to destroy our aspects of our lives, slow and slow. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people, jump on the Alex Jones bandwagon, that this is all going to be fucking nuclear wars and all this stuff, and it's possible. But I don't think so. I think that their ambition is going to be with fertility. Because if you look... The early rumblings of a fertility crisis are here. If you know where to look, I can never remember her name, but I watch her all the time. There's this fertility doctor. What the fuck is her name? I think it starts with an S. Fuck. Swan. I think it's something Swan. Who's exposing how fertility, especially in Western countries, has fallen off a cliff. Go watch the movie Children of Men.
I was just thinking that.
That
is where we're heading.
That is what they're doing. All of this, they're going to kill us with drugs and... You know why they're not going to do that? Because they don't have to.
All they have to do is put it in the water, that's all.
They have injected our food, our air, everything that we exist in is injected with stuff that makes you unfertile. Okay? I'm not just speculating. Look up, there's documents that prove this, okay? Yes, for me, it's my opinion, YouTube. Don't fucking censor me, bro. But I'm quoting sources, okay? There are sources that say this. You have to look them up yourself. That there is an infertility crisis coming, and it's because of things that are put into things. Is it put into the procedures, if you know what I mean by this motion? Is it put into this? Is it put into my chair? Is it put into the air? Yes, all of it. Mm-hmm. All of it. You can't get away from it unless you're living in a mountain somewhere with a mountain spring, and even then you're getting some of it. They are absolutely fucking with fertility. And you know the other sign that proves that they are, and I mean this with all love for all my LGBTQ friends, okay? The other sign of it is that people who are of a certain age, looking back, we're seeing a more and more, there's nothing wrong with being female or anything, but a more feminization of people. You're seeing males becoming skinnier, more effeminate, their taint length is shrinking. All of the signs are pointing towards they are being their hormonal balance is not what that should be by nature.
Well, not for nothing, but look at a lot of the females too.
Mm-hmm.
They're becoming more and more.
Why do you think we have obesity? Why do you think we have such an obesity epidemic, guys? Look it up. Hormones have a lot to do with obesity.
Yeah.
If you're being pumped with the wrong hormones, you tend to get fat. Look at what they do to animals in the farms. They pump them with hormones to make them fat. Wake up. It's not even like a speculation. It's obvious that that's what they're doing. I've asked some of my LGBT friends, I said, listen, this is not a judgment, and I'm not saying it like a judgment on you, because it's not. I love you people. You're great. Most of these people are wonderful. I love being the token straight guy for so many people. Okay? I say it like a joke, but I mean it. But I have to ask, if you found out that the reason that you were the way you are was because they've been adding shit to the water to make people infertile, how would you feel about that? I know this is going to be like a really controversial question to some people. Because it's really painful to think. Someone thinks this? Yes, it sounds crazy, but really, just as a hypothetical, if you don't believe me, hypothetically ask yourself, what if your gender expression and interests in things were because of something? I know it sounds like Alex Jones turning the frog gay, I know. But what if that was true? If your gender expression was because of something they're pumping into the environment without your permission and choice, how would you feel about it? People say, well, that's insane. They wouldn't do that. How many of you guys remember that they used to put lead in gasoline and what effect that had on people?
And paint and everything else.
But especially the gasoline, there was a crisis after I was born.
Yeah.
Where they removed it rapidly from all gasoline. They had lead as an additive to reduce knocking.
I remember going to the gas station and my mom saying I'd like regular unleaded gas. It's like, why do you even have to say unleaded? It's just gas. No, you have to say unleaded.
Mm-hmm. So they put lead in gasoline, and statistically proven it lowered IQ scores for everybody. If you're Gen X or older, your IQ is probably a little lower than what it could be. Now, I have an IQ in the high 130s, low 140s, right around, I brag about it a lot, but it's like a thing I like to point out. It's like one of my claims to, it's an ego thing. I get it, okay? It's obnoxious, but I have to put it out there. High 130s, low 140s. When I was tested as a young man. What would it have been without the lead poisoning? What do you think you would be? So how does that make you feel? Especially if you're my generation or older, how does that make you feel? They put lead in things in the Roman Empire. That's one of the reasons why they think that the Roman Empire fell, was because they had water going through lead pipes and wine in lead vessels because it tasted interesting. It added a flavor to it.
Isn't that what brought about Caligula?
That's what they think, yeah, at least that era.
Meanwhile, my son is a baby. How many times I had to have him tested for lead poisoning because there's still paint in houses.
Mm-hmm.
That could cause lead poisoning.
Alpha says, where do you guys think the future timeline and the gray aliens come from? I mean, I don't like to go that far into all that stuff. I think that's a little woo for my taste. But if that was shown to me, I'd probably be that funny guy who in one sentence be like, that's impossible, and then it's shown to him, I knew it. That's probably I would totally be like a hypocrite about it. Like I'd be like, oh no, that's not there's no way that could be true. I knew it. You know,
well, like People of Earth.
I haven't watched enough of that to know. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I've only watched a couple episodes.
We need to watch that. That was a good show.
That's a good show.
Yes, that's right, Doc. They had lead pots in Rome that they boiled water in. Correct. Now, listen, guys. Don't just take what I say like, you know, I know I'm a little out there. I know I sound a little crazy. And, honey, whatever that is really loud.
That's the oil burner again, heating up the water.
For fuck's sake.
I know. I don't know why it's got to go on every stream.
I mean, we're not even using hot water right now.
Oh, I took a shower.
It was like 2 hours ago.
I know.
All right. Anyway, sorry about the sound, guys. It's not too bad, but it's
Try to
still,
ignore it.
That was sudden. It'll only go on for a minute.
It won't be on long. It's only, yeah. Since we're not running the heat right now, it won't be long.
So, I know I sound out there. Okay, I know I sound. If you're a normie or edging towards norminess, I know I sound crazy. Okay. But there's a quote, and I'm going to misquote it, but there's a quote that goes something along the line. This is from a government guy who said, all the stuff that you think is happening, if you knew what was really happening, it's much, much worse. Mm-hmm. It's way worse. If you knew what was really going on, you would go crazy.
You only know what they want you to know.
Ajna, I love you. Ajna says, them Globus is going to kill us all, sips Coke. Dude, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of purity testing that goes on in movements and with opinions from people, okay? The irony is funny. The hypocrisy is funny to some degree. But not all of it is, how would I put this? Not all of it is something you should judge, because there's not many ways out. So I could go live on a mountaintop somewhere in like Central America or something where they don't have as much crap going on, where they still get chemtrailed to death, but it's not as bad, right? I could go live in this where everything I say I do. No one lives that life. Like purity tests are a thing that annoy me to a certain point. So there is a certain expectation for people to walk the walk that they talk, right? That's fair. But then there's a purity test where people will go, well, that person doesn't fit every ideal that I believe or that they believe, so therefore I must take a shit on them. Now, I think this is another trend that's been injected into human consciousness to keep us from uniting together against them. Because we look at one another and we go, well, I can't be friends with them because they don't agree with me on everything. Oh, I can't follow them because they stumbled a little bit. Oh, I can't listen to that guy because he was wrong that one time. So this purity test shit is another weapon being used against you, because you could have somebody who would be very effective at stopping them, but maybe they grabbed somebody by the pussy once, or maybe they got some fact wrong once, or maybe they made a claim about Sandy Hook that was wrong, or maybe they you know, something like that. Well, or they say that everything's being weaponized against you, and yet they're still consuming it. Right?
Well, think of it this way, too. I mean, how many people ditched Disney because of certain things? Meanwhile, Disney has their dick in so many different asses that they're not hurting.
My wife, everybody. My wife said that.
They're not really hurting, okay?
Yeah.
You can say, I'm not going to their movies, I'm deleting this service, I'm unsubscribing from Disney Plus, blah, 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 till the day is frickin' next year. And it's not going to affect them because of how many asses their dicks are in.
Yep.
It's kind of a moot point.
Yeah. Well, actually, they broke even this last year or whatever, so they're freaking out a little bit. But yeah, you're right. You know, and
they'll just acquire some other place to get their money from.
Yep, it's true.
They'll just buy another Marvel franchise. Listen, guys,
if you think I'm crazy, which I don't think most of you do, you might be here because I'm entertaining if you think I'm crazy. You're sitting here listening to a guy who talks about demons and non-duality and spirituality and all kinds of weird shit, and that's the part that bothers you? Like, that's the part that kind of got, ooh, look at that. Ooh, I like the blue. Is it meant to be blue or is it purple?
No, this is purple. It's just blue on camera because colors. Color theory fails with
because cameras do shitty things.
Yeah. This is for a dear friend of ours.
Don't say that. They'll know who it is if they watch.
They might not watch. They might. Either way.
Yeah, Phoenix is laughing. You know, I mean, yeah, I drink the babies, right? Because that was the meme going around for a while. Is that Pepsi used babies? It doesn't. It uses an enzyme that is sourced in some of that shit, but it's not. It's not.
And they don't even put it in the Coke, right? Isn't it just to?
It's a testing.
Check?
Yeah, it's an enzyme that tests for flavor, and it's not like they take
Quality control thing.
Aborted babies, grind them up, and turn them into slurry and put it in the sodas or something.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but look it up. It's pretty freaky though. There is some truth to it. It's just not what they made it out to be on Alex Jones. That's all. Okay, Nikki, go enjoy your pizza. And someone said they were taking their dog for a walk. I don't remember who that was, but enjoy your dog walk. Yeah, I like the snake. I want one that's like a dark red. I want one that's like a blood dark red.
You know,
like,
I could make you one. I have a beautiful fresh shed here. Latest shed for my little snake.
But honestly, the one that you made for yourself that I stole, I still love that one.
Oh, the big one?
The big one.
My mega mirror?
I stole that fucking thing so hard. It's now sitting in the ritual room that we both use, but...
No,
yeah.
I'm just glad it has a place.
Yeah, it's not just an ornament.
You know, I'm glad it has a place, and it fits there.
Oh my god, it looks so good against on the main wall. It looks so good. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Like if you go in there, put the lighting just right and just sit and just woo. I've done that a few times now. It's really good. Really good. But
the thick
yeah, we got
helps too. Something about the thicker frame.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the fact that you like put a little red with it too, a little bit. So.
And tentacles.
Yeah, Soylent Green Alpha, you're right. Dude, before I knew what the hell everything really was going on, I had a friend try to get me into that Soylent shit. And I was like, I tried it, and I was like, it's okay, but I don't know. Then I'm like, oh, I don't need soy. Oh, no, I do not need soy. Thank you. Thank you for trying to make my balls become concave. Thank you very much.
We were just talking about that Soylent Green stuff, too. About the former friend that tried to get you on that.
Ajna, I know you love us, so you have permission to troll a little bit. You're one of the oldest, truest, bluest watchers of the channel, dude. I know we don't agree on every damn thing, and I know you troll, and it's quite all right, dude. I'm totally cool with it.
It's all good fun.
I know I can tell when it's in good fun and when it's meant to be hurtful. I can usually tell. I have a pretty good record for that. I get it wrong maybe 5% of the time or less, but I'm usually right. So I can tell you don't mean no harm. Yeah. So yeah, so she's working on, you know, for those of you who don't know, the store still has stuff on it. In fact, we put stuff up recently, and I don't think any of it went. I guess it's just the wrong time of year. People just aren't buying stuff.
They're a little more on the pricey side too.
Yeah, that inflation, boy.
But I do have some that I'm going to be installing some lucite into soon. I just got to get it cut and...
I like the red swipe in there.
Yeah, this one has red around it. All around it. Ta-da. And there's a mini variation that matches. Yeah.
Phoenix Claw says, in Gilligan's Island, who do you like best, Ginger or Marianne? Why choose? Why choose?
Why choose?
Yeah,
and
why
choose?
choose?
For Mrs. Howell?
Fuck it, throw her in there too. Fuck it.
This is another one.
Why choose, dude? You know.
This is one
do I have to?
There a while ago. It's hard to see with all the black, but it wraps the edge too. I'm very, very proud of this one. I like this one. It's one of my favorites.
Well, you know, Kelly says true on Disney and the other crap, but one can still save their money and skip it. You know what really sucks is we cut the cord back when it was still cool and like new, like nobody was doing it. And we were like liberated from so much shit. It was a little rough at first because like trying to pick your own shows to watch, like something about watching regular television where they tell you what to watch, you know, they just do it, is like kind of nice. So it was like, what do we watch? I don't know.
You know, and it's like you're cleaning the house and you just want TV on in the background. You just,
yeah,
you know, you want the the marathon of Roseanne for the day just playing in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot harder to do when you don't have the service.
But the thing that sucks now is that there are shows that we like or movies or whatever that were like on Prime for the longest time. And now you go to watch them and it's like, oh, you have to subscribe to a new service. Yeah. What the fuck, dude? Why am I paying for, like, I'm starting to get, so it's like, if it wasn't for the delivery, having Prime is losing, it's losing, okay? Because every time I turn around, something that used to be free on Prime, I have to get a new service for. That pisses me off. Like Star Trek. Star Trek used to be free on Prime. I used to watch the old Star Trek all the time. Me and my son would sit there and have lunch. We called it Star Trek lunch. It was like one of our favorite things to do. And we'd sit and we'd watch Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and we'd have our ramen noodles and it was fun. And now I go on fucking Amazon Prime and guess what? All the Star Treks you have to pay for again. And it's like, you know, like, please just eat the fattest part of my ass, you motherfuckers. Like, fuck you.
You know what's really freaking bizarre about the whole thing, too? I'll go on Amazon and I will buy a movie that's not available anywhere to stream for free, you know, even if you're subscribed. And not even a week later after I buy the movie, it is on Hulu for free.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck is that? It's happened several times. It's not like a one-time thing. It's happened several times.
Wyatt, nothing's free. If it says free, then you're what they're selling.
Yep.
But no, you're right. And I've said to my wife many times that, you know, we'll just subscribe for a month and we'll turn it off. And we haven't done that yet, but that is something we would do. You know, that's the thing. Just remember to cancel on time. Thank you, Kelly. Exactly. Dude, they used to do this scam back in the old days, Wyatt. You don't know this probably because you weren't born yet. But back in the day, they used to have these CD collections and shit that you could subscribe to. So you'd give them like $1 and they'd start sending you CDs. And the first CDs were like $1 or $2. Next thing you know, it's $30, $40 for sets. And you can't stop it because they never answer the phone. Dude, that's...
Magazines always did that too.
Yeah.
I remember there was a CD club, yeah. And you could it comes with like a little sheet of stamps and you punch out what the CD you want and they send it to you.
Yep.
I remember that. We did that one time.
Yep. TV Guide had some of the best ads back in the day. Oh, TV Guide, that's anachronistic. Holy shit. Oh, Phoenix Claw wants to know what's my favorite music.
Music.
I'm pretty eclectic. I like a lot of things. I don't really have much of a limit. I will say that probably the ones I like the least are like modern country and current rap. But I love like 90s West Coast rap is just my favorite fucking rap in the world. Holy shit. And old school country, like back in the 40s and 50s, pretty cool. But my favorite music, the stuff that I go to, it's either going to be like dark ambient stuff that I use for writing. That's a lot of it. But if it's just to jam out and listen to music, it's either going to be it's going to be a spectrum of like goth, dark metal, heavy metal, olds metal from like the 70s and early 80s. Like I love metal from like the 80s and 70s. Holy shit, I love that. My problem with a lot of metal is like I can't stand new metal. Like pretty much anything that came like the late 90s, starting with like, I'm going to say, what the hell was that band that started like that for me? Who was it? Oh shit. Very popular. Everybody liked them.
Korn.
Korn, yes. Everything that's like from Korn forward, metal started getting stupid to me. Not them saying that they were bad. I'm just saying that's like when it started to kind of like fall apart a little bit. Then you have a bit of a revival with like the Swedish metal and all that was pretty cool. Although I am a little bit tired of people burping into microphones. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm saying that sometimes some of that shit I'd like to hear clean lyrics for. Like, you know, it's like you have like this really great melodic or really, really, really great just instrumental shit going on. and then it's like, okay, I get it, that's cool, but can we do something else too? Can we have a little bit of clean lyrics too? Like, could everybody doing those albums, could you do like 2 songs on the album that are clean, please? I'm probably gonna say, like, right now, one of my favorite bands is Karl. One of my favorites is Karl. They're really good for that reason. Phoenix Club says, not the current black metal dungeon synth. I mean, yes and no. I'm saying, like, it's not what I used to like, right? My thing is like old Slayer, old Megadeth, old Metallica, the big 3. Yes, Dio, like Anesh says, Dio, Dio. Some people say that. I say Dio. Cool shit. I've never been that into Behemoth, I gotta tell you. I know that's like weird coming from me. Like, I've never been that. I've always thought Behemoth was kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it. People get pissed off, but it never really did it for me. I actually like some of the newer stuff by Ludvoko Technique. He's kind of more like industrial goth. Can you tell by the hair swoosh? Say
what you gotta say about Behemoth. You're here to offend.
No. I mean, I don't want to say it because it's like, I don't mean that in jest. I don't mean it either, because there's times I listen to them like, that's a badass song or that's a cool video. But some of it's like, you know, I don't know. Ghost I like, but I've kind of got bored of Ghost. I'm kind of like over Ghost now.
I didn't really care for the newer album.
Cookie Monster vocals. Well said, Hermit.
I love that.
I don't hate the Cookie Monster vocals. It's just no more, please. No more. I've had my fill.
I hate to say it, but it gets to a point where all the bands sound the same when they do that.
That's part of it, yeah. Rage Against the Machine can suck my whole machine. All right, fuck them. They should be called Rage for the Machine now. Fuck those posers.
Absolutely right.
They've always been fucking poser assholes. When they first came out, I never liked them. I always listened to them like, fuck you.
I was never a Rage head, but no.
I'm not saying they didn't have good music. I'm saying I didn't like them.
I think the only reason I gave them any thought at all was because it was the kind that got stuck in my head.
Luciferian Light Orchestra sounds familiar. I think I might have heard of them. I don't know. So I'm going to say probably, you know, bands that would be the most important to me would be like Typo Negative.
Yep.
It's probably the #1 band for me. Followed probably by Slayer, but only a couple of albums, if that makes sense. Like Slayer, I don't like across the board. I like a lot of Slayer, but for me, it's like South of Heaven, and everything else is like a song here and there. Yeah. Like the entire South of Heaven album is just perfection. I love that.
Absolutely.
Then for Metallica, everything up to and begrudgingly including Black, but Black is like, it's when they start turning into like garbage. So it's like there's a few songs I love and most of it's kind of swill. But everything before Black is good. What's that?
After Black is when they died.
Yeah, that's when they kind of got shitty. Megadeth, I can't say I like every song, but there's quite a few songs I like from Megadeth.
Speaking of Megadeth.
Yeah, we're going to see them. Yeah.
Seeing them again this year. Yay.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing, what was it, Hatebreed? Not Hatebreed.
Not Hatebreed, it's...
they had Hatebreed last time.
Five Finger Death Punch and Who are playing with them.
The Who,
of all
we
got
bands.
To see the week before Megadeth last year.
Yeah, The Who was awesome, dude. I like The Who a lot. That was a good show.
And it's an outdoor venue.
Not The Who like the 60s The Who. The Mongolian heavy metal band, The Who. Yeah. They were fucking
cool. Last year, and it was awesome.
Yeah, they were cool. And then, what was the other one I had to add onto the list? I keep forgetting to say it. Let's see, I said Typo. I said Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. Yeah, I said that. What was the other one? There was one more that, like, was very meaningful to me, and for some reason I can't think of it now. I had a brain fart. Oh, well.
It's the old age.
Yeah, I'm turning into a Biden. I can't
We're getting old.
Yeah. Yep.
All y'all youngins in the chat. Hanging out with some old fogies here.
Yeah. I mean, Tool was good.
I like Tool. I don't know.
Like when I'm saying the ones that I like the most, that's not to in any way say that other ones from that era weren't. Oh, like Alice in Chains was awesome back in the day.
Yeah.
Let's see. Fucking, I love Blue Angel, but not everything. I like what's his name? Gary Newman. Oh my God, how can I not put Gary Newman? I like almost everything Gary Newman does. And just, you know I talk a big game about goth. There's a lot of goth bands I like, and there's a lot I never heard of, like I don't care for. But like a lot of the stuff that comes out now, it's just starting to get kind of canned sounding. I don't know, doesn't feel right. But back
canned music anyway.
Back in the day, it would have been like anything with Gary Newman, anything like Bauhaus was decent. Bauhaus. Oh boy, I liked The Wake. The Wake was good. So. Yeah, so Kamila, Phoenix says, what's your taste in music? You have a slightly different taste than me, because you grew up in the nu metal era.
Slightly. Yeah, no, I like the goth stuff too, but I was more, as a child growing up, I was more into metal, rock, and punk. And I'm still kind of that way. There's a couple people I listen to that are a little more in the rock, the pop rock area.
Pop rocks, good candy.
The genre, but not too much of that anyway. I never liked the popular music like that so much. But more things like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, Megadeth, old Metallica, like DH was saying. Typo Negative for sure. Never got to see them live.
No, well, we met them live, but we never got to see them.
We met them. We went to their signing at Looney Tunes
before it burned down.
When their last album came out, and I have to say that last album, I'm sorry it didn't exist.
Yeah.
That was not Typo Negative. Sorry.
It wasn't as good. There was a few
popular
songs,
opinion. It wasn't them.
Yeah.
That was in his supposedly born again Christian phase. I think maybe he realized he was near the end of his life or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But maybe he saw it coming.
I think that, yeah, I could be. And I think that he was kind of getting tired of the game,
Yeah.
They all sort of were.
Like, don't get me wrong, September Sun was a really fucking good song, but...
I mean, there's quite a few songs I liked on those albums, but...
Yeah, it just didn't feel like them.
I mean, Bloody Kisses, October Rust will always be the quintessential Typo. And I liked some of the work he did outside, like when he did a song for the Witchblade soundtrack, for the comic for Witchblade, and he did a song with, what was her name?
From...
Cat, I think her name was Cat.
Babes in Toyland. Yeah, Cat Geeland.
Yeah, yep. And it was a song in honor of the one character, Sandman, or whatever his name was.
Such a good song.
That song's...
I love that song.
Go to Sleep. I don't remember if that's the name of it, but yeah. Fucking great song.
That's a great song.
But Typo will always be, it just will always be. It will always be my go-to. And I really wish, that kind of style and theme was more like prevalent again. Like, I wish that made like a hard comeback. It's like, what really kind of bothers me? One of the things that I do like about death metal and all that stuff now is at least they still got style. Like, they still do things to stand out. They'll put on makeup, they'll put on cool outfits. They kind of do themes and shit. One thing I don't like about a lot of stuff is everybody these days, it's like everybody's wearing like the ball caps and the shorts and the fucking flip-flops and shit. It's just like, I get it. Like, it shouldn't just be about how you look, but like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe I just don't like modern style. Maybe I'm getting old. Okay, I'm getting old. That's what it is. I'm getting old.
Real quick, Atropa, I love you to death. That was our wedding song.
That was our wedding song. Yeah.
Which is coming up at the end of September. 15 years, baby.
Yeah. Wyatt says, how was the 90s? It seems like, depending on your sources, it was either great or it was shit. I'm leaning towards shit. Early to mid was cool.
The later part of the 90s sucked ass, and it should be erased from history.
There are parts that were okay. It just wasn't. So the thing that made the 90s cool was the 80s. Say it with me, everyone who's in Gen X, because you know what I'm saying. The thing that made the 90s cool was the 80s. The stuff that was a continuation of the 80s shit evolving into the 90s, like the sweet spot for me is 95, is 85 to 90. Actually, I'll just say like 82 to 95. Like, that's the sweet spot. Everything during that era is just Music, movies, video games, culture, style, themes, everything was cool. As soon as you get like into like 96, 97, it's still cool, but it's like it starts to become a has-been thing. Like you're still watching Total Recall, right? Which is already like 5-6 years old, right? To give you a point of view.
It was bad enough when the New Kids on the Block were around, and then the frickin' Backstreet shit came out.
Yeah, oh. It was like as soon as I finished high school, like there was still cool stuff, but it was starting to thin out. And by the time, you know, around 2000, there was some still cool things going on. I will say the worst era that I've ever had to experience has been the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
This last 5 or 10 years has been absolute garbage for everything.
Everything.
Movies, music. You know, I'm not saying there's no exceptions. There are. You have Avatar. What was that? 2008 anyway, though. There's cool shit that came out. It's just the last 10 years is just becoming more and more corporatized and woke, and it's all just getting to be just trash. It's just dumb.
And it was, you know what it is too? It was even worse being in school with all that shit.
Yep. Oh yeah, Garbage was a good band, Ashna. That's right.
I love Garbage.
Garbage was good. If you want a goth version of Garbage, that sounds funny to say, look up Magenta. Magenta is basically the goth answer to Garbage, and I think Magenta is actually better. Like, check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no soul in anything. You have to get indie to get anything good anymore. And it's always been like that, but there was a little sweet spot where the indie shit was getting mainstream, and that's when it's cool. Like, when indie starts going mainstream, it doesn't immediately suck. It starts to get really good. You get a lot of, like, now it's got money behind it, so it starts getting really cool. And then once it goes total mainstream for a few years, then it starts to... So... Yes, Sarah, even food has changed. You're right. Like, you can taste the difference between things now. I remember food tasting differently. I'm telling you right now. I think a lot of it was the food was fresher back in the day. I think it was.
You know what's really funny? I remember my parents saying that too. Oh, it just doesn't taste like it used to. I guess it's my adult, you know, as you get older, your taste buds mature and things just don't taste as good. No, it's because it's fucking different.
Mm-hmm. Wyatt, he says, you want a goth version of Garbage, look up the 8th floor. Fuck you, kid. Fuck you, man. Oh, man. But no, I mean, it's not all suck. It's just, Ajna brings up a good point about AI stuff. If you look up Mid-Journey and use that fucking thing, the artwork that comes out of that is holy fuck, dude. I can't paint that good. What the fuck? Like, and some of yeah, you got to sometimes hit generate a few times to get something really good out of it. But a lot of the times, the first thing that lands looks good.
Yeah.
Like the first time I saw something like that, I was like, who the hell painted that? That is incredible. Because it's just impressionistic enough that it does everything art's supposed to do. T.H. Thorne, offbeat subject. I would like your opinion on modern porn. More, please? No. I'm getting a little annoyed and sick of the constant, you know, Big Brother shit, you know, like, oh, stepbrother, what are you doing? Like, like enough with the incest porn, guys. I mean, you know, the taboo part makes it hot, but then it gets like really kind of like enough. Like,
it's all stuff that starts to feel skeevy.
It's becoming a meme. It's like that coffee commercial. You guys see that joke coffee? I want to fuck my brother. Did you guys ever see that one? The Sanka? I think it was Sanka.
I think it was Sanka, if I remember correctly.
Oh my god, if you guys haven't, I should find it. I want to find it. Let me see. There was this really, really fucking creepy coffee commercial. And somebody made a joke of it.
Pretty sure it was Sanka, if I remember right.
It was Folgers. It was Folgers.
Was it Folgers?
Yes,
oh,
it was Folgers.
Is
so they have
around anymore?
So I got to be careful, guys. If I click this, it's going to autoplay. So and I don't want to get a fucking content strike. So let me mute this for a second. Pardon me. And let me click and click. Okay, good. And I'm going to give you guys the link, and I want you guys to watch it. It's only 2 minutes long. This is the extended cut. And I think they have like later episodes in it too. I think they continue it. Let me just make sure this is the right one. I think this is the right one. It's so bad. I'm pretty sure this is it. If this isn't it, just look it up. You may have to find it yourselves. But this video right here, it's about 2 minutes long. At any point, like, go watch it. I don't mind if you leave me for a second to go watch it. I was like tearing when I was watching that. It's so fucking funny. So, check it out. I wish we could watch it together with a content strike. We probably would get a content strike.
Yeah, especially if it's a Folders thing.
Yeah. Alpha doesn't like magenta. I love magenta. Oh, well, that's fine. You don't like magenta. We can't be friends now, Alpha. You've insulted my tastes.
I'm offended.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, you know, like, I don't want to hate too much on current art, you know, because it's like, it's still, some of that is we get jaded. We change. The art doesn't. Like, the art is still good. It's just we've changed a little bit. Our expectations are different. Here's my, if I had to give you a postmortem on what's wrong with modern art stuff, is it's become so fucking postmodern. It's become, you know, all this postmodernist fucking fedora hat tipping bullshit, all this nihilistic garbage. It's ruined a lot of stuff. You know, there's not enough angst. There's not enough rage. There's not enough happiness, not enough. It's all postmodern. Nobody wants to do anything classic anymore. And it's all just kind of canned. It's all formulaic. It's all safe, right? That's the thing. It's all safe. The 80s and 90s is characterized by the fact that people didn't play it safe. They took risks with art, and that's what made it good. Nobody takes risks anymore. Everyone's got to be careful. They don't want to piss off the woke police. They don't want to be, you know, and they won't get a chance if they might.
Well, I was going to say, you know, they won't get a job doing anything for real if they have a certain mindset or they don't fall into a category.
Yeah. To a point, Phoenix Claw, he says, so the creative power is now in the street. I mean, it's always been there, bro. It's always been where it's from. You know, go watch the latest movie about Elvis. And yeah, it's obviously a movie and some of it's fake and whatever. But some of that is correct. When they show that Elvis was influenced by the black jazz and stuff of his era, you know, the R&B and all that stuff, that's underground. Like, that was underground music at the time, and that's where he was influenced. There's no question. And I do believe the parts of the movie where they show him hanging out in these things, I do believe that's what happened. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's always been. It's always been, you know, it's always been alternate. It's always been you could say street's a good word for it, but it's always been that. So it's that in the 80s and 90s, people got smart and they turned street mainstream, and we've never really recovered from that, because then after they got rich, they didn't want to. So here's the thing. Here's how it works. You have these fly-by-night startup companies that go and they find these really cool, innovative, risk-taking artists, and they don't mind taking a risk because they want to make money. They're starting out. So they throw money at these guys. And if 1 out of 5 of them hits, they hit big. So they're willing to take that risk. And so they put all these cool new acts and these cool new artists and these cool new producers and movie directors, and they build all that shit up, and it looks great. Now they're rich, and they don't want to risk those riches. So they stop taking risks and they start doing stuff that's formulaic. It's a story as old as time. It's what always happens. It goes right back to that saying. I don't know who came up with it, but you know, hard times make hard people make better times make soft people make hard times. Well, we're right in the soft people make hard times era. Mm-hmm. We haven't quite hit the hard times yet. We're getting there though. We're getting into the hard times. So it's going to be a while before hard people make good times again. And we need, unfortunately, this is why you have bubbles that they blow and they pop, they blow and they pop. It's not just in economics, it's in culture, it's in religion, it's in everything, right? Like we're after the pop of the new age, believe it or not. Like if this was 10 or 20 years ago and we had the internet, I'd probably be blowing up like we'd all be blowing up bigger, those of us who do this stuff, because it was even more popular back then, believe it or not. So we're like on the tail end of that bubble. And that's how it happens. You have these inflations and they usually pop. And when they pop, it sucks for a while. And we're in the suck period. We really are.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah, money eventually replaces it, Phoenix Claw. That's right. after a while. What's up, Tess Marie? What's up? And there's nothing wrong with the money. The problem is that it becomes about that instead of, like, I've always believed that if you do what you love, money will follow, right? If you build it, they will come. And people will get a little too crazed about the money and they won't take risks anymore. And I found out even in my own work that happened a few times. When I first started out, there was no incentive for me to do this except that I was just having fun, like, trolling people with my opinions. And I wasn't being mean about it. I'm just saying, like, my opinions were different and people were interested in them. So when I first started out, it was just a blog and a Facebook page. And I was writing my blog and I was really excited because I'd get like 80 fucking views on a brand new blog, and people were, then I got 400, then 800, then I started, you know, doing YouTube videos and I started taking off there. And it wasn't about anything except doing it for the love of it. Then about, you know, a year and a half, 2 years in, I was now established and I started like, well, what do I talk about next to keep people interested? And I started sort of following like trends and shit and following fads and trying not to speak too much about things that would piss off my audience. So I didn't talk about politics. I didn't talk about those things. I just kept my mouth shut. And for a little while it was good. But then it was like, I started to feel like I was selling my soul, like they say. I really did. And I had to, like, I sort of self-destructed on purpose a little bit. People go, Thorne, you were doing such a great thing, then you got political. No, I had to be sincere. When you're not sincere, that's when the art suffers. All right, I've now finished my second drink. We're on hour 2.
Woo.
We're probably going to have to, like, end soon. You know, there was a subject you wanted to bring up this week, sweetie. I completely forgot.
I forgot too. Yeah.
You wanted to have some talk about sleep paralysis.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk lately about sleep paralysis, and I figured I'd give my 2 cents on the subject.
All right, I will take out the 2 cents collector.
Yay! No, it's just I've been seeing it all over the place, and as somebody who has suffered from sleep paralysis for the majority of my life, as far back as I can remember, it's a very interesting topic. Sidetrack, hold on.
Maybe I should start playing games while you do that.
Oh, don't leave me alone.
I'm not leaving you alone. I might just rearrange the screen and
You're rearranging the screen.
you know what? I should make a gaming stream screen. That's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to start doing. Somebody recommended game streams. I might have to start doing that.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Talk about your sleep paralysis.
When I was younger, I mean, I've had missing time and stuff, and just random shit happen to me. But sleep paralysis can be fucking scary when you first experience it, because for one thing, you can't breathe. It's like you have to will yourself to breathe. And it's oh god, I'm fucking flubbing today. Hold on.
You're distracted with what you're doing. I do that all the time.
I gotta put it down or something. No, but hold on. I'm having trouble with the stone. No,
it's funny. As soon as like, you know, you talk just fine till it's like, okay, it's your turn to talk. It's like,
oh my god, deer in headlights, yeah. No, I get super awkward when I'm a deer in the headlights, I'll tell you that much.
But awkward is cute.
No, but like, a lot of people, and myself included, believe that sleep paralysis is a time when your body is going into the astral and it's either on the way out or the way back. I'm leaning more towards when it's on the way back into the body, because that's when you're waking up from it. And speaking from experience, if you ever go through such a thing and you're scared, just relax. Start with your toes, wiggle your toes, because it is fucking terrifying at first, and you cannot breathe, you cannot move. You feel yourself trying to talk, but you can't, and your vocal cords hurt from the strain of trying to scream out to your loved one who might be sleeping right next to you, unaware of it. I've done a fair amount of research on the subject at times, and I kind of wonder if there's no proven deaths from this thing. Okay, there's no proven deaths. I'm apt to say that if you have someone that died in their sleep and there's no known cause, I wonder if it was from sleep paralysis, essentially asphyxiation, because you cannot breathe. I was going somewhere and I forget. Oh God, this happens a lot to me. Total crashing of the thought train.
You think you need somebody to talk back at you?
Yeah, I do.
Why don't you read the comments? They're talking all about what you're doing. Yeah, look at the comments.
Yeah, I'll read the comments.
People are talking about Wi-Fi interfering with sleep, and that could be it. All kinds of cool shit.
Yeah, it could be Wi-Fi. Sometimes, like, a few times it's happened when I had a cricked neck, and it was like my neck was like on the couch without a pillow, and I just happened to fall asleep in a funky way. Almost like like it shuts off your nerves to the rest of your body. Blood of the eighth, sleep paralysis or something similar happens to my fiance sometimes. She'll start gasping in the middle of the night. Scared the shit out of me, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Not breathing is sleep apnea, though. I can always breathe when paralyzed. I actually use heavy breathing when I need to wake up. You know, I'm in the thought that everybody's different. For me, most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, I couldn't breathe, and I absolutely was paralyzed. I couldn't move any part of my body. A few times I remember it was when you were in the middle of doing a ritual, and I had very lucid dreams while you were doing it, and I had no idea what you were doing. I didn't know who you were contacting, and then I told you the one time it was a lion that sat on me in my dream, and you were working with King Marbas. Mm-hmm. And oh God, I had another thought. What was it? Shit. Yeah, but the last several times that it's happened to me, it's you know, as I got older and I got used to the whole thing, since it's happened so many times, it's not really all that scary anymore. In a way, there's times when it feels almost like a warm hug, because your body is all fuzzy and just like that staticky feeling that you get. And almost like it's really hard for me to put into words for some reason, almost like you're being pulled into the void in a way. It's got a home feeling. Wyatt Coverdale. Whenever I give myself sleep paralysis, I get the feeling of my body being electrified or something, and it's kind of hard to breathe, but usually I can get myself out of it. Most of the time, it's on purpose. Yeah, you can slip into it on purpose.
And how would you do that? What's
that?
And how would you do that?
Well, from my experience, get into a very uncomfortable position with your neck. No, but in all seriousness, it's you know, a trip into the astral, you know, the lucid dreaming and like meditative state. Just let your body go. Color red means the abyss, sleep paralysis. People see red. I wonder if it's true. It's possible. I've never seen red really, but you know, besides the light shining through my eyelids, really. Yeah, a lot of you seem to have similar experiences. Anything you want to add, sweetie?
No, this is an area I don't have much experiential knowledge of. I prefer to talk about things that I have some experience in. The only thing I can say is that there is, you know, if we're going with just the science of things, there is this understanding that dreams, you don't experience them while you're dreaming. You experience them as they're imprinting into memory, and that happens as you wake up. So it's sort of like, it is almost like out of body, because you're having a dream in this REM sleep thing and your brain's processing all this stuff, supposedly. I consider the brain to be more like an antenna if we're going to be, you know, just physical about things. The brain would be more like an antenna. I don't think the brain generates anything. And if it generates anything, it generates maybe like the dreams that you have, but it doesn't, you know, consciousness is not generated by the brain. That I'm convinced of. So when the brain is dreaming, consciousness might be observing those dreams, but it only turns into vivid, visceral experiences. Like, you know, I remember, you know, driving my car down the road and suddenly I went flying through the air and turned into a big water buffalo or something. Whatever your weird ass dream is about, that stuff only happens when you're waking up a little bit and it's being imprinted into your memory. Now, the question is, if you understand a little bit how the brain works, you realize that your brain does this weird thing where it doesn't record things into memory like a video camera. It records things mnemonically, meaning it records them symbolically. It records them indirectly. So if you think about any memory you've ever had, that's not a recording in your brain, right? So if you play back like anything, you can replay back a sound in your mind, however you do it. What's actually happening is your brain is imagining what it remembers. And memory is just a very special kind of thought. Your memories are something that you think about now. Like, we call them memories, but they're really just a kind of thought. Your memories, you don't know what your memories are. That is to say, when you experience a memory, you're experiencing what your brain does with the memory. Okay? So your idea of like, oh, I remember going to the store yesterday and buying something, and you start to replay that in your head. You're not replaying the memory. The memory is inspiring a daydream that is reminiscent of what happened. And it's convincing because it's built out of your perceptions. Now, this is where it gets freaky, okay? How do you know your memories are memories and not just thoughts? You don't. There's literally no real way to tell. The only thing you can say is that my memories match to what I currently observe. That would implicate. So, for example, if I remember taking this bottle and dropping it, and I look on the floor and it's on there, and I remember dropping it, I can say, I remember dropping it. But how do you know that memory happened, or is it just a thought that's happening now? Now, you can go a little too crazy if you think about this too hard, because obviously our experiences are pretty consistent. But this goes back to that whole, it's always now, nothing moves, it's always in eternal now. Everything that ever happens is in the eternal now. And it's consciousness that's moving. So consciousness is moving through, and memories and thoughts arise, but they're not built of anything. Your concept of now is a little ball. It's not a slice, I wish I could say it was a slice, but it's not a slice. Consciousness is a very small aperture. It's not one dimensional. It's not two dimensional. It's a very narrow holographic slice, a very narrow holographic bubble, a very small sphere of a fuzzy ball of now. Now is a fuzzy ball. It's not a defined thing. This indicates to me that it's like when your eye is reading, your focus is in the middle, but there's fuzziness, right? It's a fuzzy circle, and you're reading by following that fuzzy circle. It's the same thing. Consciousness is a fuzzy circle around a now moment. And that moment is not a one-dimensional thing. It's not a two-dimensional thing. It's not even a three-dimensional thing. It's a fuzzy, gradual, just like looking through a peephole. If you ever look through a peephole, you know that the edges of a peephole are not sharp. So like take something, poke a hole in it, and look through it. At a distance, they look sharp, but when you get it up to your eye, they're fuzzy. Always. It's like that. Ignorance is that. So think of it this way, guys. Right now, if you really think about it, at the edge of everything that you know is an infinite, boundless oblivion of what you don't know. Okay? Everything that you think of or that you see is bordered by something that it's not just that you don't see it. It is oblivion. Okay? And oblivion is everything at once. It's not nothing, it's everything. That's the irony. People get it backwards. They think oblivion's nothing. Oblivion's really everything, all at the same time. That's why it looks like nothing, because it cancels itself out. It's like, you know, every positive number and every negative number coming together, it comes to nothing. It's like a -1 and a +1, you get 0. It looks like nothing, but it's really everything. Now, at the edge of all of your awareness is that nothing, that no thing. Right? So what happens if you reduce your sphere of knowledge small enough or expand it far enough? It has the same effect. If you shrink it far enough, then oblivion is all you know, and then you realize that that's everything. When you expand it far enough, oblivion returns because you know everything. It becomes everything again. But there is a fuzzy sphere around you, both visually, sensually, conceptually, intellectually. There's a fuzzy sphere of being that you have awareness. I shouldn't say because you have awareness of everything. That's the irony. You don't realize, even now, you are aware of everything in the multiverse, but you're only consciously aware of what's in this little sphere of consciousness. If you think about it, you're aware of the farthest galaxy. You're just not consciously mindful of it. You're aware something is there, but it's unformed. If you close your eyes and shrink all your senses down to as little as you can get it, and go in a sensory deprivation tank, you know, do whatever chemicals you do, go meditate, whatever your practice is, go into your null state. And when you're there, you still have awareness of reality. It's just unformed. It just seems like nothing. But there's still awareness there. So, like, if I close my eyes, I'm still aware of the most distant galaxy. I'm just not aware of it in specific. It's an awareness that says there's something out there, but there isn't a thing that's out there. It's really, really, really kind of trippy if you think about it. I can give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Everybody listening to me right now, take your right hand, put it behind your head. Are you aware of your right hand behind your head? Can you see it? Do you know what it looks like? Can you feel it? No, but you're aware it's there, right? You're just not aware of it specifically as much. Are you aware of what's on the wall behind you? Yes, you're aware something's there. You just don't know what it is. You don't have conscious attention put on it. The divine simply has focused its attention on you and thinks it's you because it's kind of forgotten. It's really that simple. And until more people figure that out, it's going to be difficult. Like, that's one of the reasons why we as a species are the way we are, because we're egoistic. That's the definition of ego, is you're centered on this and think that's what you are. It's a bad habit. But ego can be transcended and made a good habit. if that ego realizes, or if that habit is aligned with the truth. Once that habit is aligned with the truth, then you're set free. That's what moksha is. That is what nirvana is. That is what ascension is, or apotheosis is, or any of those cool words, kenosis, apotheosis, apophasis. All these words are saying the same thing. They're transcending the illusion of egoistic self and becoming the God self, which doesn't mean a personal thing. It means a perfect infinity. Ding, 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 and we're done. So what that has to do with sleep paralysis, I don't know. I went on a famous Thorne rant right there.
That's fine. Like your rants.
I like my rants too.
I like your rants. Fills up all the empty space.
This is the symbolism. This is why the all-seeing eye is such a powerful and important symbol. Mm-hmm. The all-seeing eye is talking about it is the divine eye through the little triangular self. The triangle is the Trinity, the holistic self. Mind, body, spirit, the three forms of limitation. Each line is a line between you and yourself. They encapsulate what you think you are, but what you are is everything else. The mind is a circle, the body is a circle, the spirit is a circle, that they all wrap around the true self. And the mind is the limitation of knowledge, the spirit is limitation of identity, the body's limitation of physicality. But they're not real limits, they're decisions, they're choices, they're focuses. All right, anyway, guys, I think it's time that we start wrapping this up. I got a hungy. It's 4 o'clock. It's time for snack time, and we got to start getting ready for dinner. But I want to thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate everybody who tunes in for these. You know, I was hoping to get more daytime people, but it looks like mostly the same people that are here every night. So I do appreciate everybody who came. And Kamila, do you have anything else you want to say before we, like any other topic before we go?
I can't really think of anything. I kind of blew my load.
Ooh, hot. Back to the porn question, right? Mm-hmm. So, all right, guys. So I think we're gonna wind it down. Yeah. Oh, I can't forget. So, very shortly, I'm going to be making the official announcement, but this is sort of the semi-official announcement. We got the flyers for the event on September 30th. I know a lot of you are planning on coming. Some of you guys in the chat are planning on coming. I don't know if you want to drop the bomb here that you're coming or not, but a lot of you guys are planning on coming to the meetup in Newark on the 30th at the Club QXTs. And it's QXTs like teasing you, like just, you know, but it's QXT, the letters, QXT. And if you're curious about joining that, if you think you can make it, if you're going to be in the Newark area on September 30th, you might want to join our Discord, which is linked in the description of this video. If you go to our Discord, there is a channel. You have to join the channel. You have to answer the questions so that we know you're a real person and are cool. And then you join us in the East Coast Meetup channel. That's where we talk about that. And there has been a flyer made, and it's going to be published by Madam X and Iron Garden and QXT soon. So I'm going to be dropping that there just to let you guys know. It's going to be a nice event. I'm going to be doing the keynote speaking. It's going to be about shadow stuff primarily. And I'll be talking for about 15-20 minutes, and there'll be other presentations. It looks like it's going to be a cool time. After that, so it goes from like 8 till 10. And then after that, we're all going to hang out in the club, I guess. And maybe we'll fucking walk around Newark. I don't know. Maybe we'll get mugged or something, you know? Could have some fun. So we're going to hang out in QXTs afterwards. It's kind of a goth club, although it's supposed to be 80s night. I don't know how 80s that means. I've asked them, I sent them an email. I was like, when you guys say 80 night, does that mean Duran Duran? Or are we talking like 80s goth night? And I didn't get a very clear answer. They said a lot of goth people come on the 80s nights, but you might want to tone it down. Like, don't be wearing your full fucking BDSM stuff, guys. Maybe tone it down. Like, I'm still probably going to wear, like Kamila and I are probably still going to wear some crazy shit.
No, I'm still dressing up. I'm wearing what I got.
Yeah, we're probably going to stand out a little bit. So if everybody stands out, we won't stand out. So if everybody come and wear your most fucking, you know, death metal, goth rock outfit, and we'll be our own crew, and we'll take over the club.
You know what it is? How often do we do this? Might as well fucking stand out.
Alpha's driving almost 400 miles. Damn, that is love and dedication to the idea and the cause. So hopefully we meet up and it's really cool, because that would really suck if you come and we all hate each other. No, I appreciate that, Alpha. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking for. So we're gonna have a Tropa too. Oh, another 7. I didn't know it was that far. Damn. We're gonna have a bunch of people coming. Hopefully, at the minimum, it's going to be me, Fleshy, and Kamila. But it sounds like we're going to have probably between 10 and 20 people coming. So if we can stick to that, at least 10 people, that would be great. I'd feel like we really did a cool thing if we got 10 people to come. But even if it's just like 5, 6, 7, that'd be really cool. So, but yeah, if it, hopefully you guys can make it. It should be a fun night. There is a hotel not far. It's in the city. So there's plenty of places to stay the night. Kamila and I are going to be staying the night.
We're going to be
once I know what hotel we're going to stay in, I'll probably post that. Maybe there'll be like an after party. I don't know. But we have to get home at some point, so there will be a limit on that. But yeah, because we're driving from Long Island to Newark. Not that. Yeah, that's not as far as Alpha and Atropa are coming. But yeah.
No, but the tolls are probably higher.
What's that? The tolls are higher. Yeah.
Higher.
Yeah, it costs us like $30 just to leave Long Island. It fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. It's like $10 per bridge. It's like ridiculous.
But it's cheap to come back.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, well, because they want you coming back. They don't want you leaving. They're afraid you're going to take your money with you.
Yeah, bastards. You can't leave.
Upstate New York is awesome, and parts of Long Island are all right, but fucking, ugh.
Well, upstate wanted to secede.
Yep. Long Island, a lot of it
They keep trying.
Yep. That'd be really cool. But no, so I will be posting what I find for hotels. We're probably going to grab one any day now. I'll probably now that we have a lot of confirmations, I just got to confirm with Fleshy what he's doing, and we'll probably do that this week, and we'll confirm whether he wants to be in the room with us, which might be a little weird. So we might get 2 rooms. He'll probably get a room himself. So we'll probably do that, but I'd like to help him get it set up so we can sort of all be together. So man,
how many years have we known him now?
I guess 5.
God, and we've never met him in person. We're actually going to finally meet him in person.
Watch, he really does smell. He's like, I smell. It's like, what?
Dude, we all do.
He's like, I'm a smelly Frenchman. I'm like, what?
Like, dude, we all smell.
I'm proud of the fact that I rarely ever smell at all. I don't know about all you stinky people, fucking mortals.
Well, you smell with your nose, so.
Oh, I'm going to throw something at you.
Please.
Wait till you're back in the house. I'm going to throw a dick at you, and you're going to love it.
Oh, no. I do.
But yeah, so figure hopefully it'll be more than like I you know what has happened to me before, like you hype up something and like 3 people show up. Yeah. So I'm hoping it's not going to be that. It could be. Eddie says he's coming. A bunch of people say they're coming. Mm-hmm. So if you go on that channel, there's a lot of activity. So Siege says he's coming. There's a lot of people saying they're coming. So hopefully it'll be one for the ages. Hopefully we'll have fun, and hopefully it'll become a regular thing. If this ends up being more than just a little thing, I think we're going to do an event once a year at the minimum. Maybe even every 6 months we'll do something. But I think once every year for Thorne Hub get together would be really cool. Maybe it'll get big enough where we can we'll want to get like a party room or something. That would be really fucking awesome. But for now, it's just going to be at this club, and they have 2 rooms apparently, 2 big rooms for the club. So I don't know. We'll see. Doc says it'd be cheaper to fly. Damn, that's expensive.
It's going to be cheaper for us too.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
We can leave from MacArthur. just hop over.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to drive.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be really cool, and yeah, join us in that Discord channel for more info. And it's about 2 months away, so as we get closer, more will be dropping. But I'll be putting. What's that?
Not even.
Let's see.
It's a month and 11 days.
Oh shit! I better get hustling then.
Oh.
Yeah, I better get hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do it annually, or even twice a year would be cool. Hell, I have no fucking life, so doing it like once a month would be cool. But I know it's a little bit much to ask for. So, all right, guys. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything that I didn't answer, you can put them in the comments later, or you can send me an email, or you can do whatever. You can hook me up. You can hook up with me on Discord, Facebook, all those places, which I don't use much. I am a little bit at arm's length sometimes because I need my space, but I do try to respond to cool stuff. So anyway, guys, until next time, why don't you say us goodbye there, Miss Kamila?
I hope you all have a wonderful evening tonight. It's been fun.
Aw, see, that was very sweet. That's like how you used to hang up with me when we were dating. So sweet. Good night, guys. Mind the shadows.